There you go.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Rob Terell, official deal maker. You know how we do it, Wealth Nation Rockstar. I just jumped off the porch with your boy, Dirty Glove Bastard.
I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Shorty, what you want? Shorty, what you need?
Yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got the official deal maker in the building, Rob Terell, jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. What's up, Smitty?
Man, everything
What's good,
cool,
man?
bro. Man, feeling great, bro. How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, I'm feeling too blessed to be stressed.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Super blessed.
That's what's up,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Sometimes I feel
Feel
like
great.
it's a crime to be feeling this good because you just wish that you could share this energy with some other people.
Right,
man.
right,
You know
right.
what
I know.
Yeah, man.
Well, we try.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, we do, man. The official deal maker.
Yes.
Man, you've been in the game for, over 20 years.
Yeah.
Making major moves across several record labels.
Yeah.
Working with, setting up big tours with Live Nation, with several artists and things like that. What would you say is one of the most fulfilling parts about what you do as being an executive in the industry that, really connects dots?
Yeah, I really feel like the most fulfilling thing, man, for me is being a playmaker. To be able to make a play for someone who doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the knowledge, just don't have the connect. The music industry is relationship currency first.
Absolutely.
And the relationship currency is what allows you to get other forms of currencies. So the people who are not in position because they don't have the relationship or they don't have the financial resources or whatever resources they need, they may be very, very talented. To help those people, it's the most fulfilling part of my job, is to help them whatever they're trying to do, even if it's just a look like this, like Off The Porch, which could be, for some people, Off The Porch is like a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be able to put people in position where they can make progress, I can't promise you I'm gonna make you a star. I can't promise you're gonna blow up. I don't make those type of promises, right? What I can promise you is that you're going to grow, you're going to make progress from where you are, and that I can put you in position. And that is very fulfilling to me because it's like, I feel like God using me as a conduit. I'm a vessel, and so I'm blessed so that I can be a blessing.
Yeah. Word. No, that's what's up, man. And you were born in New York. The
BX, baby,
okay.
Bronx, New York,
oh, man.
NYC,
Yes,
stand
sir.
up.
The birthplace of hip hop.
Yeah,
Word.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, you grew up during a time where hip hop was, in its early stages, early development and things like that. Did you think that when you were seeing this culture, just growing before your eyes, seeing it out your window, probably seeing it, from the trains and things like that, did you think that it would be where it's at right now as probably one of the biggest cultures in the world? And
that's wow. First of all, that's a great question. Back in the day during that time when I was coming up, like you said, man, we was in the park, man. We were doing block parties and in the park and Grandmaster Flash and all of them, Run DMC and Naughty by Nature, Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, I was watching what Russell was doing and others, Chris Lighty, R.I.P., that was one of my guys. And I'm like, man, when Chris Lighty started doing those deals with like Sprite and water companies I said, you know what? I said, man, this genre, this culture has the potential to be massive, to really be huge. And I was just like, it's just really a matter of whether or not we're going to get there. Like how far are we going to take it? because the door is open and we're in position, but can we get to that global status? So I had hope for it. I wasn't sure, but as time kept going on and bigger artists, and we started breaking a lot of barriers and doing stuff that we never did before, I said, oh yeah.
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 Word. And what were some of your favorite parts of the culture as it was in like some of those development stages, you know, like, 'cause I mean, you just mentioned like, you know, seeing the guys like in the park, you know what I mean, and plugging in and you know, all of that. Like, what's like some of your favorite memories or just some of your favorite, you know, like parts of the culture?
Well, so I grew up on 167th and Clay, and so right around the corner from me, which is Webster Avenue. So Webster Avenue projects, I hung out there a lot. That's kind of growing up, that's where I lived. So seeing them come out in the projects, from the basketball courts, and set up, and everybody come out, you know, from everywhere, people from uptown, downtown, Harlem, Brooklyn, and everybody kind of come out, and we're just all out there having fun, you know, enjoying the music, the DJ battles, you know, and the MC battles. It was raw back then. Like it was really, that was real rap. That's real hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, so just being there and experiencing that, man, we'd be out there till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, man. And just, I guess, the brotherhood and the camaraderie and everybody kind of supporting each other, and watching the sound evolve as it went from artist to artist. Like even by the time it got to Naughty by Nature and Queen Latifah, who was hot back then, Special Ed and these guys, right? Watching it evolve in the sound, the sonically what was taking place, the evolution of hip hop, right? It started there in that era. And look at where we are today.
Word. At what point would you say you jumped off the porch, or for New York, jumped off the stoop?
Man, I feel like for me, when I kind of fell into this because I had a friend who was an engineer. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dude Swift Lee. So Swift was an engineer at Calliope Studios. I ended up taking on an internship down there just to help and try to make some extra money.
Word.
And he was like, I need some help. We was at the pizza shop, New York Pizza. Shout out to New York Pizza, man.
What's up?
We were at the pizza shop, and his girl was like, Rob, he really needs your help. And I was like, help with what? You know, I'm already down there answering phones and getting food, and I'm doing, you know, like, what y'all need help with? He's like, man, I want you to manage me. And I was like, manage what? What are you talking about? I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, but his girl, we had a conversation. I said, bro, I don't know nothing about managing. You know what I mean? I can barely manage my own life. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, bro, I don't know nothing about managing. You know, he was like, well, I keep getting ripped off, because Swift was doing a lot of records for major artists. I won't say their names, but major artists, and he wasn't getting his credit. You know, back in the day, having your credit on the album cover was a big deal.
That was everything.
It was everything. So even if you didn't get paid, you wanted your credit.
Right, because producers weren't even doing producer tags
Exactly.
back then. And it was, you know, like getting the album, looking in the liner notes.
Yes.
The
liner notes, right, yeah, exactly. So he was like, I'm not getting my credit. I'm not getting paid. The only money I'm getting is the money for the studio time. And I was like, damn, bro, that's messed up. I was like, man. But this dude was like 6'6", 330 pounds, 20 pounds, and wouldn't speak up for himself. It was the craziest thing. Here I was, this little skinny, scrawny dude with the big mouth. Like, hey, what's up? You know, like, so I became his mouthpiece. And that's how I fell into it. I became his mouthpiece, and the very first deal that I did was with Jive RCA, with one of my mentors, LaVeba Mallison, and we had a group called Trends of Culture, and that was my first deal.
Wow.
And when I realized, I walked away from that deal with about 20 grand. when I realized, I said, oh shit, like, I just made $20,000, you know, couple meetings.
Right, talking.
Just running my mouth.
Yeah.
I fell in love.
Said I'm all in.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I can do this. It gave me the confidence, you
Yeah.
know, and been going ever since, been running ever since.
Or so before that, had you ever had any aspirations of being an exec or being on the business side of music?
Not really. Actually, a lot of people don't know this about me, man. So you're gonna get the exclusive right here on Off The Porch. But honestly, bro, like low key, I wanted to be a rapper.
Word.
I wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest with you, craziest thing is that I was a rapper way back, and I got signed.
Oh wow. Okay.
I got a record deal.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that, like, the song was called "No Pork in My Fried Rice," and and the song came out and it flopped, and it flopped so bad. This is a crazy story, man. The song came out, they put it back then. You had to make it or break it. So the #1 urban radio station back there, they played it, make it or break it, and they smashed my record into a million pieces on the radio. And the next day, the owner of the label, who actually ended up becoming my mentor, Will Sokolov, Sleeping Bag Records. Will had Sleeping Bag. They were distributed through Def Jam.
Okay.
They had signed me, but he had signed me to his new label, Moonroof. He called me, he said, I'm not gonna say what my rap name was. I'm not gonna say what my rap name was, but he called me, he said, I need you to come down to the office. I said, okay. I said, what, you know, he said, we need to talk. And that was another confirmation, like to me, that was a confirmation. When I got down there, he said, you need to seriously think about being on the business side of the music industry and not trying to be an artist. And
Just like that?
Just like that. And this was subsequent to my best friend, Swift, who I grew up with, asking me to help him. So this is all like coming together, like the universe, like conspiring to try to get to, like, no, over here, like, need you over here. And I said, well, why did you sign me? If you don't think that, you know, I'm a good artist, you don't think I'm dope or whatever, then why did you sign me? He was like, I just took a chance on you. I like this record, took a chance on you. He was like, but really, you really not an artist. He said, you really, you have a good head on your shoulders. He said, you need to use that. And he was like, you also, I don't forget exactly how he said it, but basically he was saying, you got the gift of gab. So he was saying, use that, and that'll take you far. And that was it.
How did you take that when he first presented that to you? Because, you know, especially an artist, like someone with their art, you know, like you're so sensitive about it. So for someone to come to you, the person who signed you and who, you know, sort of has your future or your fate in their hands, tells you that they don't think that you're actually an artist. And then you get this other sign, you know, your other partner tells you he wants you to manage them. Did you accept that in the beginning, or was there more pushback and you being frustrated and damn, why are people trying to like kind of pull me from my dream?
Yeah, man, you know what? It was one of the hardest times in my life because I was so inner conflicted. I wanted to be an artist so bad, and I actually thought that I was dope. And my friends in the neighborhood and stuff, you know, they would tell me like, yo, you got it. But really, man, the failure, and this is why I tell people today, is like, you gotta learn how to fail forward. Because the failure and the humility that I experienced from that, it changed me, you know what I mean? It made me, it did something on the inside of me to where I had to be humble in that time. I had to be very, very humble. I had fought so hard just to get signed, finally got signed, went through all of this work, put in all this work in the streets and everything, and then I flopped. And then the guy who said he believed in me, who signed me, tells me that I should consider something else. at the same time that my best friend is telling me I need. And like, just to think about the fact that you're my best friend and you know that I'm an artist, or I'm trying to be an artist, I'm an aspiring artist, why would you ask me to manage you?
Right.
How disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, like, bro, I'm an artist like you.
Right.
Like, I mean, like, you know, why would you ask me that? Yeah. You know, so, but, you know, I really believe that God has a way of redirecting our steps, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, you know, it happens in the strangest, craziest way, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, looking back 25 years ago, understanding that that moment changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life. I wouldn't be here today doing what I'm doing and talking to you and having the body of work that I have had that tragedy. It was tragic for me.
Right.
I was depressed for like 5 or 6 months.
Wow.
I stopped going to the studio. I stopped writing. I stopped everything. I just was like, man, I just did all of this. It's like climbing Mount Everest. I did all of this just for this. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, and that's what I try to tell people now. It's like, look, man, you're going to fail. You're going to fail, and but it's what you do with it. You know, it's what you do with that failure. You know, do you turn failure inside out? Do you turn L's into lessons and then turn those lessons into life-changing moments? Right. You know, so that you could live legendary. You know, that letter L, right? There's a lot of things coming like that L, right? So I always say, man, look, the right information with proper application is what leads to a transformation. So when you understand that process, that thought process, you start experiencing it, you know how to process that, right? You know what to do with it, and you can be successful in whatever is in alignment with the will of God, God's will for your life. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
We need to be in alignment. I can't decide tomorrow I want to be a professional golfer. I want to be a tennis player.
Right.
I want to be a plumber. Like, you know what I'm saying? I am what I am, you know? So I think we stay in alignment with our gifts and the will of God, we end up landing where we're supposed to be, which is the best life for us.
Yep, yeah. But so many of us allow fear to hold us back from ever reaching that light. Think about, you know, every successful person, not so many, every successful person has stories of losses, failures, however you want to label it.
Absolutely.
Every person with a woulda, coulda, shoulda story probably can tell you that they've never failed at something because they never tried.
They never tried.
You know, and that's the difference between, you know, the people that are up here and the people that are on the outside looking in, you know, peeking through the window, trying to, you know, get there. So
I call it adversity university.
man, absolutely.
And then when we graduate magna cum laude.
So going through all this adversity at this time, being depressed for 5, 6 months, how were you able to pull out of this? You know, were you aware of mental health and what that even was at the time?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't aware of mental health and the issues I was experiencing and everything, but.
So you was just trying to be a man through it then, just trying to just man up, suck it up. Like just
Yep. I learned one of the most powerful tools that I use to this day. I learned how to pray. I learned how to pray.
That's deep.
And to this day, I pray every day, but I learned how to talk to God and how to hear his voice. And something said, you know, maybe this isn't such a bad thing. Maybe they're right. You know, maybe, you know, I'm closing this deal. I'm running around with these people who are already on. So I believe in the sphere of energy. So, you know, that's why I tell people, it's just like, so what's that saying? Show me the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I'll tell you who you are. Right? Yeah. Energy, right? So I said, man, for me to not even halfway know what I'm doing, with this music business shit, and I'm making a couple dollars here and there, hit or miss. What if I really learned this shit? What if I really learned it? What if I really focused? You know, what if I was willing to sacrifice what I wanted or what I thought I wanted for a greater purpose? And once that light shined through, that's why I always say we win from within, because that internal transformation process started taking place. And that's when I started on my journey. And that journey has led me to here, to this point, right? With us all being a sum total of our life's experiences and a sum total of our choices. Those choices and decisions changed the trajectory of my life and got me here.
Right. Yeah. So when you decided to make that transition or make that pivot, you know, from being an artist to now being on the executive side, did you immediately, you know, begin to see success and things like that? Like, what was that process like? What was that learning process like?
Yeah, well, how about I spent damn near 11 years broke? About 10 and a half years, I went on that journey, true story. I went on that journey. I made scraps here and there, little hit or miss, couple $100 here, whatever. I said, man, the hell with the music industry. The hell with this shit, bro. I can't. I'm sleeping on people's couches and floors on a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I don't. Somebody asked me one day, like, well, what's your address? I said, I don't know. I don't have an address, but you can send it to his house.
Yeah.
Like, send it to his house, and if I'm there, I'll get it.
Yeah.
You know. But I said, the hell with the music industry. I left. I went in and got into finances. I went in a whole different way. Built a $3 million company from scratch out my son's bedroom. In that industry, and then fucked it all up, all the way up, and lost $3 million company, wife, divorce, hadn't seen my son, got myself in some serious trouble that I'm not even gonna talk about on here, but I had a $1.2 million house in New Jersey, 5-bedroom house, lost that house. I had cars, I had it all. I had a huge office in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I had a massive operation going in the financial thing. I made some arrogant moves, ego, right? And now learning later on that ego is for easing God out. And I just heard Jamie Foxx when he was talking the other day on this special. And he was talking about, man, I forgot about God. And I could relate, because I forgot about God. And start making some moves. My ego cost me everything. It literally cost me everything. And guess what? So now, 10 and a half years, no money. I leave, I quit, the hell with it, I'm done. Go over here, make stupid money. I was making at the peak of that, I was making between $150,000 to $160,000 a month.
Wow.
I had that for like 2 years. Lost everything, back to square one, down at the bottom. Have no idea what the hell I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna go, because now my name is fucked up. I got other issues going. I can't move like how I want to. I get a phone call from somebody from way back here that I was working with in the music industry. But my grandfather called me and said, this dude in the Bronx is an up and coming rapper, and his aunt, who's like a sister to me, wants you to help him. I said, what? What the hell are you talking about? What?
Because you 10 years removed from music, right?
Yeah. I'm like, why are you calling me? Like, why me? Well, you're the only person I know. That's my grandfather. Well, you're the only person I know anything about this shit. And if these motherfuckers fuck with her, there's gonna be a problem. He's a Harlem gangster, OG. Diggy Butts, rest in peace, Diggy Butts, man. So I said, damn, man, I guess I gotta do it because I'm scared.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how I got my first kind of major thing, because that dude was paying for a feature with Gunplay.
Okay.
And when I kind of pseudo became his manager, that put me in contact, it was deep, that put me in contact with Gunplay's manager, which is a girl named Megan. And me and Megan started working. Megan called me one day, she said, I like the way you do business. She's like, you know, Gunplay needs some help. And I was like, really? It's like, yeah, because I'm like, why would Gunplay need help? He signed to Rick Ross. He's Maybach. Like, he good. She's like, well, you know, there's some stuff going on that you don't know about in the background that we need your help. True story. And I wound up first co-managing him with her. And then they had a falling out. And then his mother asked me, can you just take over from here? And I was like, oh shit. And that's what brought me to Atlanta.
Okay. Word. Yeah. I worked with Gunplay when I worked at Def Jam, that Triple C's album.
Yeah. He's a wild one. Shout out to Gunplay, man.
Nah,
He's a
sure,
wild one, man.
Yo,
but he's super talented.
Can you share any stories, you know, working with Gunplay, whether it be in the studio or just any, you know, in any scenarios you might remember?
Ooh, man, Gunplay. You know, everybody asked me, you know, out of all the artists, now I done represented Jackie's Boy, who's a Grammy-winning singer-songwriter. Don't nobody ask me about that situation. Everybody asked me about Gun.
Hey, come on, man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. The wildest shit. First of all, Gunplay, super duper talented dude and a very hard worker. His work ethic is crazy.
Yeah.
I have to give him his props. A lot of struggles with a lot of different things, you know, that most people probably know about.
Yeah.
But Gunplay used to spend money like it was Monopoly. And I mean, we'd bring in like $20,000 in a week, 25 grand in a week. I give Gun his money. I take my manager commission. Here's your bread, da 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 da. That nigga would call me like 2 or 3 days later, bro. Like, we got anything? You check the email? What's going on? Like, bro, I just sent you like 15 racks, like 2, 3 days ago. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, well, you know, I have to take care of it, you know.
Running through that money like water.
So the wildest shit was he got mad at me because he got mad at me because we had some pending deals and I'm trying to close these deals, but these niggas is clowns. So it's like, I'm trying to get these deals closed fast enough because like I said, he would run through money. So he got mad at me. We had an argument and he called me, man, he said, I'm gonna kill you. I said, what? He said, I'm gonna kill you. He said, man, and I knew he was high. I knew he was lit. And I was like, Gun, just chill, bro. Like, just chill out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't that serious or whatever. And that was the wildest. And I told him, so I said,
tell him, put that Bible on the dash.
I told him, and he had just got, we had just got to deal with Def Jam. He had just got the deal. We had got the contract and everything done. And I was like, this is great. And then that shit happened with the accountant. With him pulling out the gun and all that. Then he was on the run. The whole shit just crashed and burned. Yeah. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah. That's like the toughest part working with artists. You put so much time and effort and, you know what I mean, blood, sweat, and tears in it. And then like one thing can happen and they're not available anymore. So now your line to, you know, making some money is over. You know,
dries up just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Anything, incarceration, health, anything. Somebody got shot, whatever, it dries up. Boom. Once that talent is no longer available for whatever the reasons are, I mean, you see it with all these guys getting locked up with these RICO cases and all this stuff. You got employees and people that work for these people that rely on them to pay their rent.
Yeah.
You know, to have a life, to be able to, that's how they live, right? And all of a sudden, it's not there. It's deep.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. And then can you talk about you worked with the R&B group Soul For Real?
Yeah.
And got them a $3 million deal.
Yeah. So when I got Soul For Real, it's so crazy because they had that hiatus where they were kind of disbanded. And when I met them, we met at a restaurant. We all came, you know, I said, look, man, at the time I had a dope position with a company that was distributed by Warner, right? I was vice president. I was in the VP of A&R position. I had a good position. So I met with them and I said, look, they wanted to put everything back together. They had a project and everything. So first I met with the three brothers and then the fourth. And then we finally got it together. I take it to the company. They loved the project. I went to school with Heavy D, so they wanted to dedicate this project to Hev. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was really inspired by it, and I loved it. And I was like, okay. So yeah, I went there. I got the deal. Sent them their contract. It's crazy, man. Sent them their contract and everything. They start fighting amongst themselves and about, you know, the money and da-da-da-da-da-da. They start having issues, man. And I was like, and people called me and was like, yo, Rob, what the hell is going on here? I said, bro, I don't know. Let me talk to them. And so we got everything done to a certain point, but then they didn't want to sign off on the final paperwork to do the deal. So they started talking about going solo. One guy was like, man, can you get me a solo? My nigga Chalk. Chalk was like, can you get me a solo joint? I'm like, solo joint, bro? Can we do this deal first as the group? So different people started, yeah, man, it was crazy. So I did secure the situation. I did get it for them, but then when they ended up going a different route, and that was it.
Word.
It happens.
Can you talk about your time working with Silkk The Shocker? Because I've always been a Silkk The Shocker fan. And
Spitty, you killing me, man. You killing me, man.
I hate the fact that like so many people would talk about him rapping off beat, but then like that's the style now in rap.
Yeah, ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Like he been doing that. Silkk, man, we had a great relationship. That was my dog, man. We went all around the country together. He's another one that is kind of like a lot of my biggest artists that I've managed and worked with. I got them at a time when they were low, when they were in their adversity. Got you. And so with Silkk, man, real smart dude, really smart artist. What did you want to know about him?
No, I was just asking like what was the experience like working with him?
It was great, man. I made a lot of money working with him.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of money and you know the thing is surprising, he had so many hits that what really would surprise me with working with Silkk was that we would pull up to these places where I would be like, I don't know how they're gonna receive him. You know, because at that point in time, he's kind of like old school, you know? And these are hits from like 10, 15 years ago type shit. But man, I tell you what, to his credit, and I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram or not, when he had recorded himself at the airport, and you saw that, yeah, we were on tour. So at this, I put together a tour for him called Shock the World. And we were on tour, and he said to me, he said, yo, man, I need to make some extra bread while we on tour, so what can we do? So I said, well, we can bring some independent artists on and give them a shot, let them open up for you. That's some money right there. We can stop by some clothing stores, some sneaker stores and stuff like that. You know, we can, it was like, I bet, dope. So he was one of my favorite to work with in terms of like Silkk really had a really great attitude, positive, and the response when he would do his show and his set and everything, I'd be like, bro, you still got it. You know, be like, yo, you still got it. And he'd be like, I appreciate you, Rob, I appreciate you, Rob. One of the things that these guys can attest to is that they always felt safe with me. From the standpoint of like, I always made sure their bread was on point. You know what I'm saying? Whoever was supposed to get paid got paid. You know what I'm saying? The bills and everything was situated. And, you know, as long as that stuff was handled, you kind of start to build that trust, you know? And that's what it was.
Right. Can you speak on the importance of keeping a strong face card, you know, because you're in these rooms constantly, you know, making deals and what, you know, you're bringing different clients in the rooms. So you have to maintain these good relationships, you know, so that other clients don't, you know, become affected by, you know, something, you know, from a relationship or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, look, man, music business is a tough business. It's really tough. You try your best to manage the expectations of people. And you put forth the effort and you operate in good faith. But that doesn't guarantee everything is gonna go right. Everything's gonna be perfect.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, what if I came here today and it was like, there's a flood here. So we can't have the interview.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I flew all the way in from LA and I got a hotel and I did. What do you mean, Spitty? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it wasn't intentional.
Right.
You didn't plan my demise.
Right.
But you just cost me 4 racks. You know what I'm saying? Because now my flight, my hotel, and all this other stuff, right? So I look at it this way, man. And I tell people, look, bro, first of all, I'm not perfect, and neither are you. The music industry this is not a perfect world. This is a concrete jungle. Most people are not operating in good faith. Most are not, they lack character, they lack integrity, their moral compass doesn't work, okay? Music industry is filled with a lot of savages. I don't care what level you're on, independent level or major level. You really don't know people until you really know them and have that experience with them. So fuck what somebody else said. Oh man, don't fuck with Spitty, da-da-da-da-da. Or whatever, just using that as an example. Don't fuck with Spitty, man. Oh, you want Spitty off the porch? Oh man, they gonna do you wrong. I can't listen to that.
You never hear that anyway.
Never heard it. That's why it was a bad example. Never heard it, but you know what I mean? Like, people just talking based off their experience. And I don't know what happened or didn't happen. So what I just try to do really is I just try to be straight up with people, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. Transparency, take you a long way. Transparency, very important. Take you a long way. And I try to avoid side doors, back doors, all of that shit. Stay away. You know what I mean? And I just try to keep, I mean, you know, I know there's some people out there that'll probably be like, oh man, fuck that nigga, man. Whatever, you know? And that's cool. You gotta have at least 20 haters.
I mean, come on, man. When you moving in a way in which you're not trying to make other people happy, like that's not your goal to make other people happy, then you're gonna have some people saying that.
Of course.
You know
and I'm not, and I tell my staff this all the time, like, I'm not here to win a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? I'm really on a mission. You know, I'm not gonna be the most likable guy or whatever, but one thing you can't say about me, I'm not a fuck nigga. And I don't take people's money and then don't deliver, disappear, and all this other fuck shit that these niggas be doing. I'm not them. So that's one thing, you can't put that on me. You feel me? So as long as I'm striving for my greatness the right way, I'm going about it. I don't have to push you down or step on you or backdoor you in order to get to where I'm trying to get. I'm just need to know that I'm going to get there regardless. And it might be the longer, harder way, the journey, more arduous, but I sleep at night. I feel good about who I am. I'm not a fuckboy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't gotta worry about walking outside my crib and somebody wanna shoot me or stab me or whatever for some fuck shit I did 2 years ago.
Right.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm clean.
Yeah. I always joke and say, man, my number been the same for, 10, 15 years because I don't owe nobody no money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Straight up.
Right,
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? You do people right, like you know what I mean? You in good standing.
But what I've learned is when you properly manage people's expectations, bro.
Ooh, that's the key.
That's the key.
Yeah.
You know, you got people out here to be like, give me $20,000 and I'll get you signed and I'll make you a star and, whatever, right? There was a girl, a young Filipino girl, international girl, man, somebody got her mother, man, 150 racks. 150 racks. I wrote about that in my book.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then didn't do nothing. I mean, nothing, but put her ass in the studio. 150 racks to sit in the studio and make songs that never came out. Wow. So it's just so much, Spitty. It's so much going on that it's like, guys like us start to stand out just because we ain't on no fuck shit.
Yeah, real spit. All right, so Rob, tell me about your company, Rockstar World.
Rockstar World. Well, our mantra is live bigger than life, man, bigger than life. Rockstar World is a multifaceted entertainment company that is a record label, a management company. We have a magazine called Rockstar. We also into sports, so we're managing a basketball player overseas, so we do sports management. It's very multifaceted, but our primary thing is the music, of course. We also have a great strategic partnership with Live Nation. So we just did about 24, 25 shows around the country. And we've put independent artists on some of the biggest arenas in the country. And so we have 2 distribution deals. We have a deal with ADA Warner, and we have a separate deal with Sony for distribution. So it's a lifestyle brand. It's Rockstar World is an energy that we emanate, and it's an energy that we emanate. We're energy exchange partners, and so we emanate this energy of the life of a rock star, American hustler, right? But it's like a family, and I started that like 3 years ago, and it's doing really, really well.
How important is artist development for you? Because that seems to be a lost art, a lost area, in the game, yet it's so important.
Yeah, so I have Wealth Nation,
Okay.
which is an artist and brand development company.
Okay.
Then I have Rockstar for kind of when they graduate.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna tell you something. Artist and brand development is everything. It's the oxygen for the brand. The brand can't breathe without it. The brand won't live without it. Because what's happening right now is that building a brand is like putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle that you never put together before, right? So there's so many moving parts and pieces. You have to build a brand now. You can't just be an artist. Just being an artist, you don't have anything to sell but music. And most of the artists are not even selling that. That ain't even doing too well. You have to have a brand that's viable, monetizable, and scalable, which makes it investable. So we teach artists how to build their brand to a level of investability where partners like corporate sponsors and brand collaborations and partnerships can take place. Get your mind off of just thinking about a fucking record deal, bro. Fuck a record deal. Yeah, you heard it from Rob Terell, official deal maker. Fuck a record deal. Build a brand. Build a brand, okay? The money will come. The new deal now is partnership. and collaboration. And that's what everybody wants. And if you can position yourself where you have something to offer, you have an engaged audience, right? You have an engaged audience, then your brand is viable. And that audience is growing and you're emerging, then you have a viable brand. That, I always tell like artists, producers, my staff, everybody, money is never an issue in the presence of value.
That's a gem.
Okay? Money chases value.
Yeah.
That's why it's never an issue. Increase your value and the money will increase.
Yeah. So many artists are stuck in, you know, like I feel like what they feel like should be the old way of, you know, how artists were making money, and are sort of scared to tap into, you know, now being content creators. Like I tell artists now, like, don't even call yourself an artist. Don't call yourself a rapper. Like, you're a content creator.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like and to really look at it in that mind frame so that you understand that, like you said, like, you know, as you're building a brand, you have to, you know, have content and you have to be engaging to an audience. So
a brand is a business. You know, I said in my book, Broken Famous, The Music Game, either you build a brand, which is a business, or by default, you have a very expensive hobby. Therefore, don't call yourself an artist. Call yourself a hobbyist. Because making music is a fucking hobby for you. And that's why you're not making no money.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody cares. Except you and your little homies, your little friends, and that's it.
And you've written over 5 books.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
Your most recent one, Pajama Money.
Pajama Money.
Yeah. Can you what made you start writing books? Like, what made you, you know, want to, you know, share this game even in that way, or gave you the knowledge to know that that was a way to do it?
Well, you know, I noticed that, like back in the day, Russell used to write a lot of books. Russell had books. I started noticing that a lot of the top level execs, at least the ones that I admire and I look up to, and I'm following kind of in their footsteps, they weren't writing books. And I just picked up on that, I'm like, that's interesting. So I was like, well, how can I pay it forward? How can I got all this stuff in my head and all this experience, these experiences and this knowledge, how can I present that in a palatable way where I can not only increase my own value, but I can help others increase their value and they can learn and grow and evolve. I said, you know what? Book. And I started that process like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've just, you know, I've had 3 Amazon bestsellers.
Wow.
So that was it, man. Pajama Money was inspired and came from the young up and coming executives in my company. I have a staff of about 34 people. So we got about 18 A&Rs. When these guys started making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or $5,000 a month from home, following my system and my program, I nicknamed it Pajama Money. And that's how it all came about.
Yeah.
So I would be on the conference calls and I say, what do you have on right now? I said, I don't know about you, but I'm not fighting traffic. I said, I'm not by the water cooler. I don't have assigned break times.
Yeah.
And I ain't asking nobody when to start or finish. Said, in fact, let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm reheating my coffee for the 3rd time in my pajamas and my slippers and my nice comfy robe. And I'm looking out at the tree line. And it's a beautiful day. And I just made $8,000 last night. And life is great. What are you doing? So that whole thing brought about this whole thing of Pajama Money.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting the trademark for it. And I formed another company. But I got 7 companies now.
Wow.
And Pajama Money is my new company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Serial entrepreneur for
Yes,
real.
sir.
Man, what's one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned throughout your career?
Biggest life lesson?
Yeah.
Wow. Man.
Especially with overcoming adversity, because that seems to be the theme here, that you've had to overcome it so much.
A lot. I've by the grace of God, I've overcome a lot. I would say, man, you know, in the Denzel movie, in American Gangster, there's a scene where he's talking to what to become his future wife, and he's talking about Bumpy Johnson. And he's telling her what Bumpy taught him. And Denzel says, he taught me how to take my time. And so my biggest life lesson is the time-money valuation. And understanding and learning how to take my time. And that speed and greed will fuck you up every time. So speed and greed will mess you up every single time. When I start taking my time, now I can process. I can think things through. I can look at all the angles. What's the rush, right? My biggest life lesson is do things the right way the first time, then you don't gotta worry about looking over your shoulder. And my other big one for me was ego. Be humble.
Yeah.
Be humble. There's no need for you to be a fucking asshole. You know, there's no need to be arrogant. I don't care if you got 10 Rolls Royces and 5 mansions and what, who cares? You know, this is all materialistic shit. So what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be more concerned with what is your character? What's your relationship at with God? What's your moral compass? What's your integrity? What do people really think about you? And what's going to be your legacy? How are you going to contribute to people's lives along this journey, right? Because you're not going to be here forever. So I tell people I'm working on my dash. I got that from Butch Lewis. I'm working on my dash. So that dash, what's your legacy? So learning these little principles, they're not so little, but these principles here and there, it's like this piece, and this piece, and this piece, and that piece, starts to change you. You start making better choices. And I feel like I've made better choices the last few years that have got me in a much better situation. And I live a very blessed life, you know? So I have a great life.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at.
That's what's up. Financial literacy is something that is very important to you.
Yeah.
I see you speaking on that a lot. Can you talk about musicnomics?
Musicnomics, yes. Man, boy, you sharp, Pretty boy. You, man, you on it, bro.
Hey,
see, that, you know, I knew coming here, man, this is the best. So off the porch, crazy.
Appreciate it, man.
Musicnomics, the slogan is finance the dream. What I realized going through along the journey was that, wait a minute, because I largely work with independent artists, right? That's mainly who I work with. So I'm like, but all these independent artists are struggling to get a bag. They can't get a bag, right? So the friends and family plan runs out. The job plan starts to not work, right? The drug dealer investor who was backing you, he done got locked up. So now here you are, right? You can't finance the dream. So I used to tell them all the time, like, look, man, I manage the dream. I don't finance it. But Musicnomics was born out of, wait a minute, how can artists generate their own budget? How can they create their own budget? What ways exist? Now, so crazy, show you how God works. That financial thing I had way back then, came into play for me to be able to take what I learned there and integrate it into what I'm doing now. And that's how Musicnomics was born. I got 4 artists, $50,000 business lines of credit. One artist, he got $80,000 in business credit. was able to use the business credit to pay for his studio time, marketing, promotion, and everything. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Now I need to teach y'all how to approach and deal with private investors. Because I had a guy that was in construction, another guy was in real estate, and these guys were like, man, I want to get in the music business. You know, I love music. I want to start my own label. I want to get into it, but can you help me, Rob? I really don't know how this shit works. I don't know sports athletes.
Yeah.
So I said, wait a minute. I said, what would you want to see if I had an artist that just needed the financial backing that was dope? Well, what would you want to see? He said, well, give me a proposal. Put something together. That's how I ended up doing my first proposal.
Wow.
And I helped this guy, and boom. And then, I mean, that deal didn't work, but I put together a hell of a proposal.
Yeah. And what we talked about earlier, like, you know what I mean, being forward thinking and
Failing forward.
Come on.
Failing forward. I'm working on a deal right now, a $3.4 million deal with a private investor, right? And we just did a monster proposal for them. And they was like, we love it.
Yeah. Because that's the new wave of the music industry, with all of these labels laying everybody off, everybody folding. Like, find you a private investor. Find some, you know what I mean? That's the game now.
So Musicnomics teaches financial literacy and education. We have a course, we have an online course that takes them through, there's 7 courses that we have online. And then we guarantee artists at least 1 meeting with the private investor from our network and business credit. Those are the 4 cornerstones of it.
Word. Okay. Man, that's what's up, man. And how did you make it onto a Forbes cover in Denmark?
That was crazy, bro. Bro, let me tell you something. That's an act of God. This is an act of God. So
Them offshore accounts, man.
well, I mean, you know, I got a few of them things, but the writer, right? This dude's been following me. He's been following my career for the last maybe 3 or 4 years. The writer had written articles about me in the past before, right? And this was through my PR people, right? Shout out to Michelle Washington, MD, right. My publicist.
Yeah.
She has set up some plays. So the guy came to me, actually, I told him, well, talk to my PR people. He said, we got a special that we're doing, and we want to do something on the music side, dealing with the music industry. Would you be interested? I said, sure. I mean, he said, well, we just would need to interview you, and you need to send over your credentials and your stuff. But he knew me from before, because he had written some stuff. So then my team, they just, they put it together. I had about a good 20, 30-minute phone call with him to just talk about everything. And then whatever happened after that, and then they sent me the piece.
Right. Man, that's what's up, man. And then you got 3 distribution deals locked in, Sony, Empire, and ADA, Warner. You had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
What is it like dealing with, you know, like these different companies and having, you know, artists like at, you know, these different companies? Like, is it one of those things, and this is more for, you know, the aspiring artist, the aspiring exec that wants to know, like, is it like kind of, you go to one company and you've kind of been to them all, or is it like really a different like feel culturally when dealing with these different companies? Definitely
different. Each one is definitely different. So we've been with Sony now about 6.5 years. Empire Universal, we've been with them for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
And we just got Warner this year. That's recent. That deal is only 3 or 4 months old.
Yeah.
But the culture is very different at each one of them in terms of what they prioritize for their artist. And whether or not you're coming through, who you're coming through is very important. and how they are positioned in the building. Okay? It is a leverage-based system that is really tied to performance and money. And that's their bottom line, right? So I'm telling artists now, man, listen, and this is just my opinion, the pathway of least resistance to a budget from them is to go through major label distribution and perform. Major label distribution allows you to have your foot in the door. When you perform, you bring the whole body in. If you can get them to upstream one song, I wouldn't give a fuck if they gave you $10,000. If you can get them to upstream one song of yours that has some organic, real organic traction, you bring the body in. Then you're in another song, and another song. Before you know it, they're investing in you. And you're in a partnership with them, and there's no record deal. It's beautiful. There's no publishing. There's no rights to masters. It's all digital performance royalties. Digital money. It's beautiful. You put out music when you want. You still running your own show. You still have your team. So it's in a partnership, and that's the new record deal.
Yeah.
That's the new situation. That's the way it's supposed to be. So what I've learned, because I've brokered a lot of deals, what I've learned is that, and this is the part that artists don't want to do, you need to have leverage at the table. There has to be a bridge between where you are, right, in terms of brand equity, your equity position in your brand, to get to the other side. When you get to the table, you have leverage. Now you can get the terms and conditions that you want. Whether you're doing a publishing deal, licensing deal, distribution deal, whatever kind of deal you're doing, right? You need to be in a leverage-based position. Because if not, what are you doing? You're either going to get fucked over if you do that deal, or you shouldn't be doing that deal.
Right.
And now we're back to, we don't have no money.
Yeah, back to square one.
Back to square one.
How have you kept your finger on the pulse, throughout the years, whether it's being from the marketing side and just understanding, like the new trends and things like that I hear you speaking to and being knowledgeable of. But then on the other end of continuing to like have the understanding of the new structure of the music industry and the way that these new deals work, because I'll say that a lot of people that come from those eras of the industry don't continue to do the work to understand like what's relevant and what's important for artists now. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, you gotta stay in the streets, first of all. You gotta, I tell people all the time, I'm a hybrid, right? I really am. I feel like I'm a hybrid, right? So I'm in the building and I'm in the streets.
Yeah.
I'm in both, right? The language they speak in the building is very different from how we talk out here, right? I speak both languages and I'm a translator. So the way that I do that is I run around with them. I'm in the trenches. I'm at the Live Nation show. I'm coordinating the shit. I'm putting everything together. I'm in the studio with them. I'm in the streets with them, right? And then learn everything I need to learn through osmosis, right? And I'm assimilating, right? Then I go into Sony office or Warner or wherever I'm going, and I become a translator. I walk right in there and transform and talk that shit. I take everything from here and bring it to them.
Yeah.
like it's in another language.
Yeah, nah, that's real.
And then they say, oh, okay, we get it. We understand. So we should cut the check for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you go and take the corporate language.
And then I
back to
take the
them.
corporate language, right? And all this high-end shit that they be talking about.
Yeah.
Trajectories and finances proposals.
Right.
And I go back to my peoples and say, yo, bro, this is what the fuck this is.
Yeah, that was real spit.
Right? And I talk to them in their language. And guess what? I end up eating on both sides.
Yeah,
I call that a win-win.
for sure.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm
nah.
the translator.
For sure, absolutely.
So that's it.
Yeah. Man, what's some artists that you got coming up and some projects that are coming up that you're excited about that you want to speak on?
Oh man, a lot, man. So Black Oxygen, these two white boys from LA, they rock group band, man. We just did a big deal with Warner. I'm really excited about their distribution deal and the upstreaming on that. We just did that recently. I'm really excited about those guys and where they're going. This girl, 2012, new artist, 2012.
Oh yeah,
she was
absolutely.
Here.
Yep. We had her on
I
the
love
porch.
her.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
her. I'm super excited about her and her brand and what she's doing. I love her music.
Yeah. No, her
And
sound is really
her
dope.
sound is really dope, and she's young and she's talented. And she's beautiful. She's a triple threat.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that. So she signed to Rockstar. So I'm excited about her. Let me see what else. Danny Peace from American Idol. I'm really excited about her. We just landed she's a major international collaboration with One Zo Bubble Tea.
Okay.
And we landed that deal for her, and that's a big deal. Really excited about Danny Peace. La Pat, who just went gold this year, RIAA certified. He's got his new single out, Bitch Please. And shout out to my dude, Brother Beats, his A&R, and his situation. So I'm real excited for La Pat. Yeah, I mean, we've got this girl, Jaden Faith that we're working with, and a few other artists, man.
And you just secured a deal with Warner Music Distribution, right, for one of your groups?
Yeah.
Black
Oxygen. Yeah. I just did that like 4 months ago.
Dope.
Yeah. And they got I'll put it this way. I'm really proud of everything I'm orchestrating to try to help these artists get to that next level in all the way around 360, not just the music, but the brand, the partnerships, investors, and all of it. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Yeah.
So, you know, am I the cheapest guy to work with? No, I'm probably not. But I feel like right now in the artist development space, we're number one. And we've charted more independent artists on iTunes, Billboard, Spotify, charting in the last 10 years than anybody.
Wow.
We got plaques on plaques out the ass, bro. We done charted so many artists that it's just, I can't even tell you a number.
Yeah. Word. Nah, that's what's up, man. Sound like you got a lot in store for 2025.
Yeah, and then the Live Nation situation, you know, you think about it, right? We put these artists, Spitty, you gotta see this. I'm sure you probably saw footage and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But you gotta, bro, an independent artist, relatively unknown, has a small fan base, and being introduced in front of 20,000 people and having a 10-minute set, bro, these artists, I get them their own dressing room at the arena.
Yeah.
I get them a merch table in the vestibule so they could sell their merch.
Man, that type of exposure in front of that many fans, but then also being on the road with other artists and being able to start establishing those relationships. You know, like you never know until you step into it, but like, you know, road managers, production, light people, you know, sound people, you know, these are people that you start building relationships for, you know.
You should see their eyes at sound check. You should see these people at sound check. Their eyes are like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You got these big ass trucks and rigs there, and all of these people, this is sound check. And they're like, damn, shit just got real.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
So that's another part of the thing for me, man, is that gives me some gratification. That makes me feel like, you know what, man, you just touched this person's life, even if it's for a moment, you know, and I'm good with that.
Right. Nah, that's what's up, man. And this being a thankless job, like you're in a role that's, you know, very thankless. You know, a lot of people depend on you, but then, you know, when they get their situations, may forget to say thank you, or when they get into their situations, you know, I mean, we've seen managers, you know, get artists into deals and then get pushed out of situations. How do you push through, like, knowing that it's such a thankless job? Like, what keeps you motivated for so long in doing this?
Man, to be honest with you, man, doing what God want me to do, being obedient, is what keeps me motivated, you know? Like I said, man, for me, it's mission over money. I'm mission over money, right? Money doesn't really motivate me. What motivates me, man, is the fulfillment of my purpose and to try to reach my destiny and do it in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God. I'm really trying to follow God's plan and not my plan. You know, every time I try to follow my plan, it don't work. I surrendered a long time ago. I surrendered, you know? And so, but to see people eyes light up and that smile on their face when an artist like him, Logic, could call me, or 2012 would call me, or whoever, man, say, I just made it on Billboard, or I just charted rock. And these are things that they've never done before, you know? Or if they did a big concert, right? That just warms my heart because it's like, I'm so happy for you. You know, and when I understand the laws of reciprocity,
it's all coming back.
It's all coming back. You know, seed time and harvest.
Absolutely.
So when I understood those principles, I said, okay, you know, stop chasing money, bro. Stop chasing money, you know? And when I stopped chasing money and just start focusing on really truly helping people and increasing my value by having more resources and more knowledge and more things that I could bring to the table that could help more, I started making more money. And I started to really realize and understand how this all works. And it was like a moment of enlightenment. And ever since then, I'm good.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Yo, Rob, you got any shout outs you want to give, bro?
Oh, man, yeah, man. First of all, shout out to God, number one, Most High God. Shout out to God, man. Thank you, Lord, for the blessed life. Shout out to the whole Wealth Nation team, the whole Rockstar team, everybody, industry certified, my family, you know, because I got to do it that way, because if I miss somebody's name, I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to hear about it. But special, I got some special shout outs though, man. Special shout out to my boy, Brother Beach, Executive Vice President of the company. Him, Logic, you know what I'm saying? He's not only an amazing artist, man, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Pharaoh Jarrow, super mega producer. Shout out to him. Shout out to Michaela, you know what I'm saying? Our director of merchandise and promotions. Shout out to Q. Shout out to Kara, my executive assistants. And Dr. T. Dr. T, I can't forget him. Shout out to Dr. T, man. And you know the whole squad, and Elisa Thompson, my day two. Day two. Lisa been rocking with me for 10 years. So shout out to Elisa, EMT, baby. And you know, that's it, man. It's official deal maker. I'm so happy and blessed to be here with you, Spitty, man. I thank you for the opportunity, man. Off the Porch is a platform that I've always admired and at afar. And then when I became closer, I've come here a couple times with artists, and I'm like, wow, man, one day one day,
Yeah.
Spitty gonna be interviewing me,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So it's a blessing.
Nah, that's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And like I told you, you know, before we sat down and talked, you know, I feel like, you know, our stories, you know, the stories of, you know, us people behind the scenes, that might not be as glamorous as, you know, as the talent, but it's just as important because we make these worlds go around. And there's so many people that can be inspired by your story that might not have even known that there's another side of this, and they can be an executive, or they can take their creativity and put it towards the business side and, you know, other things. So
Oh, shout out Michelle Washington too, man. I can't forget MD. So I can't forget MD. See, this is why I didn't want to do it that way, right? But shout out to everybody that fucks with me. Rob Terell, official deal maker, man. If you love me, I love you. That's it.
yes, sir. Appreciate you pulling up, jumping off the porch with us.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right.
sir. All right, bet.
I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Shorty, what you want? Shorty, what you need?